Okay, so this is recording. So the reason for this video is I wanted to show a cool project in 3D. So this is, I'm also testing a few things with regards to figuring out how video quality and audio quality works when you're recording a screen with like an animation running. So this is what the project ended up being. This is one of the final labs. It's written in Java. Like for the longest time I wanted to work with something with maps and map projections. And in this project a lot of small things kind of came together, and I kind of saw like the final product. And yeah, so how this works is basically we have two spheres, and those spheres are in the center of the screen. And when we the rotation movement is kind of done with there's like a translation step, and there's a rotation step, and then there's like lighting that you see over here. It's out of specific direction. So I wanted to comment out some portions of the code just to kind of show how it works. So if I remove the texture, the texture image, it kind of looks like this. Now, if I remove the stroke, and if I remove the directional lighting, this kind of is the sphere with just the grid lines. And there's this thing in which I kind of ran into like a while back. It's about maps and how like maps are drawn. And you know, like this was like 5 or 6 years ago, and kind of like seeing how it comes together is kind of like interesting. Where's the good ones? So this is like something similar. This kind of ties in with map projections, and yeah, so what else is there? So I'm just gonna close this. Yeah, I wanted to thank the professor because there were so many concepts that kind of tied in together, which previously were like I had random snippets here and there, and now it kind of comes together nicely. So also it's the texture files are from this website. Now the final project for this course was the solar system project, and it's at a point where it's good enough and I kind of want to move forward because a few things started to break, but it's well structured, and it's my first visualization, and I'm really happy about that. Oh, it actually works. So I'm gonna turn off the sound. The way it works is you can set stars, so you can put like 1,000 stars, and you can kind of remove the stars. So actually this isn't even the final version. So you can change the distance. You can okay, it's recording. This is my first visual, which I made in Java. It's in processing, and I kind of wanted to demo it. It's at a point where it's good enough, and I kind of want to tinker more around with something in 3D. But it's like I'm not adding more value to this project. So the way it works is okay. So I can put like 1,000 stars over here, and I can remove stars. I can increase the distance. I can decrease the distance relative to the sun. There's a rotation speed, so you can speed it up, slow it down. There's this thing called Earth spin speed, but what this should have been was what is the starting point of Earth relative to the sun? So, like if this was in 3D, then you could do Earth's spin speed. It should have been Earth's orientation relative to the sun, something like that. But the moon distance from Earth. So you can see how the pink thing comes closer and thing. Reducing the rotation speed. So let's increase the distance, and let's slow it down a little bit. And then you see how it kind of slows down and it speeds up. Okay, now screenshot works. So screenshot just puts a file in there. Now this, you can put JSON. You can type in like the specifications, but just to simplify it, I've put it in as a string, and if you just press the button, it just renders the string. So that's another planet. Here's a slow-moving planet without a moon. This one, another planet, and then so it does 4. So it counts it over here, and you can just remove it. So let's do it again. So the color, it gets randomly generated. So coincidentally, yeah. So it pops in a bunch of planets. I'll show you the string at the end, so we can remove the planets. Sound works. And then you can pause and reset. And we're just going to close this because it's scared. It's just these projects get complicated when you're trying to. Okay, from a code point of view, so we have a setup method which basically imports all of the things. It sets flags, and it calls a planet constructor. So the initial setup, Earth is rendered, and then what we do is we add canvas, we add the stars layer, and then we add the GUI at the bottom that you see. Now, the draw method basically has to do with the frame rates. So at every frame, what is being drawn? So at every frame, we draw the sun, we draw a menu bar. So the menu bar basically has the GUI controls in them, and it needs to sort of be interactable. So when you slide the slider, it needs to be redrawn at every frame. The stars get updated when you put in the value in the text box. Event handlers basically deals with displaying everything onto the menu portion, onto the menu portion, and the event handlers for everything that gets clicked, that is clickable. The GUI, there's a GUI library that was imported. So I tried making the GUI myself in a previous assignment, but it kept on causing issues. So we just used one of the GUI libraries that's available in processing. This contains all the other functions. This is the portion that deals with parsing the string into the JSON format, and then it calls the constructor for the planet. So in one of this portion are the strings that get called when I was clicking the Add Planet button. where is it? Text wheel, yeah. So these are like, this is the sample string basically. Now the object, the planet object has all of these member variables. There's a default constructor. There's two constructors. So one to draw just a planet, and then another constructor to draw a planet with a moon. And these are the setters, or the setters for the member variables, which get called when I move the sliders. So it's good object-oriented programming concepts. Then there's showing the Earth, and yeah. So this was the final. So this is in the version that was submitted. This is like after submitting. I kind of wanted to finish this thing and have it set up so it's like, yeah. Oh, the song. There's attribution regarding the song. So the song is by